In our last update, I wanted to see Bitcoin move higher to tap the quarterly pivot around $88,000 to then see a reversal lower and a break back below the monthly low, which was very ugly. And if we go over to the charts, well, as you can see, that's at the quarterly pivot. This scenario played out perfectly. We moved into the quarterly pivot, got the rejection, dropped to the downside, took out the double bottom, made a new monthly low, and then got a reversal to the upside. So with that said, as usual, before we dive into today's price action and what you can look for next, let's go inside the Discord and show you what I personally did. So again, in our last update, I wanted to see the quarterly pivot, and it did seem that price did want to hit it on the same day. So right there, I did believe that we would go for that quarterly around $88,000. But personally, I really didn't want to trade before the news simply because I don't like trading these environments. But I did warn the Discord that Trump had rug pulled the markets every single time. And what happened in the end? Well, we moved into the quarterly pivot when Trump was speaking, and this did actually offer the high before a massive reaction to the downside. So if anyone took that short position, of course, it offered massive returns. Personally, again, I didn't trade it because Trump was speaking. So then the next day, what I wanted to see was that overall my plan hadn't changed. I wanted to see a new monthly low, and the quicker we dropped, the better, which would have offered nice long positions. This was my plan. I wanted to see a drop towards that low around $80,000 to then see a reversal to the upside. Overall, I was pretty bullish and wanted to see a nice bounce higher. So let's go forward in time. We dropped first without getting any significant retracement to the upside, which was the optimal scenario to look for long positions. And again, what I said was that this was what I was looking for. We got the new monthly low. We swept $81,000. If I just show you, we swept $81,000 and we were seeing a reaction. But personally, ideally, I wanted to see a bigger deviation below that low. In the end, unfortunately, price continued higher, so I simply used my imbalances. I put a limit order before going to sleep on the fill of this 30-minute imbalance. Luckily, I have to say this was pretty lucky. I will explain why in a bit, but my limit order got filled, and today I implemented a take profit one around $84,500. So back to the charts, as you can see, overall our scenarios have been playing out pretty well. Unfortunately, I keep on getting front run for some reason. Last week, if you remember, I wanted to see it move higher. I opened multiple longs, but my target was $89,000, which I did want to short. I got front run by a couple of $100 and got left out on the sidelines. In the Sunday's live stream, I wanted to see price break $81,000 to then see a reversal higher. So pretty much this setup, I wanted it to play out on Monday, but I got front run yet again, and we got the bounce as I expected. Well, we predicted this high, but personally I didn't trade it because we had the news. And finally yesterday, yet again, I wanted to see a deviation below that low, but we didn't get it, and we got the bounce to the upside, again as expected, but for some reason it's getting a bit annoying at this point. I keep on getting front run. In any case, again, I was able to catch a nice long position. So what was the logic behind it? Well, it's pretty simple. If you go on the 15-minute, what you see is that you had this 15-minute imbalance, which got filled to the dollar and offered a very nice bounce to the upside. So usually when you see this, a low time frame imbalance got filled quickly and a strong move away from it, what it means is that price is pretty much ready to go much higher. So that's why in that case, I didn't really expect price to drop again to then reverse higher. So if you go on the 30 minutes, I didn't really expect the fill of this imbalance, which is why I said I got a bit lucky with that limit order. I really believe that this drop to the downside and consolidation was a gift. On top of that, if anyone was awake, if you go on the 15-minute, you had an imbalance right at the lows, which was a perfect signal to open a long position and offered a very nice reversal to the upside. So with all of this out of the way, what can you expect next? And I believe that the levels are extremely simple today. So if you look at this high, look what happened. We now have a double top. So if you mark out this high, you can see we have a double top. With that said, the logic of that high is the exact same logic that I use for this low. As we had the double bottom right there, that's why I wanted to see lower prices in my last update, which did happen. We took out that double bottom and got the bounce to the upside. So overall, if price is able to break some resistances, which I will outline in a bit, I do believe that it will go for that double top at $88,700. So to the upside, that's what I would note. We have very ugly highs that could get taken out in my opinion. And with this in mind, what levels do we have on the lower time frames? Well, if I drop on the 15 minute, to me, we have two resistances. The first one would be this order block, which is offering resistance right now, as you can see. And then on the 1 hour, we have one major level that needs to get reclaimed, which would be $85,600. And what's the logic behind it? Well, it's the exact same logic that I gave you a couple of weeks ago when we opened the long at $82,000. And if you remember what I said, was that my first target was $87,000, but if we broke above that level, we would probably get the fill of that imbalance very easily, which as you can see did happen. So in this case, it's the exact same logic. If price is able to break above that level and above the order block as well, which is offering a nice rejection actually, then we will probably get the fill of the imbalance and the fill of the wick in this case as well for two reasons. One, because it's a very big wick, and two, because we have a double top. So to the upside, that's what I'm looking for. We have this order block, which again is offering a nice reaction, and a bit higher we have $85,600. And then to the downside, what levels do we have? Well, we can stay on the 1 hour. All price has to do is simply not lose this imbalance, so $82,900. I will say that if price does come back down and loses this imbalance, then probably I will look for lower, and that low again that I was expecting to get hit yesterday at around $79,000. So with that said, that's pretty much what you need to be aware of in my opinion. To the downside, you really don't want to lose the daily open pretty much and $82,900. To the upside, we have this order block and we have $85,600. If you're able to break above that level, then expect a break of that high. And overall, my target would be these highs at around $91,000. And for my higher time frame plan, it would be that if price is indeed able to move higher, then this could offer a very nice short position for a big reversal to the upside. Okay, because I do remain bearish on the higher time frames. I've explained why multiple times, but for now I would say that we could get that rise towards $91,000. If we get a reaction, this could offer a very nice short position. However, if we break above it, let me go back on the 4 hour. If we break above it, I would expect the fill of this daily imbalance at $98,000. And this is why to the upside, $91,000 will be a massively important level. And one last point actually, if we do get that drop today, so if this is indeed the high and we drop lower, I don't think that I'll be interested in longing $79,000 anymore because this was yesterday's setup. I believe that this played out right there. So if we do drop again, personally, I don't believe that I'll be interested in long positions. However, as usual, it will depend on the reactions. Okay, so that was mainly it for this update. A quick recap. Overall, even though we're seeing a nice reaction around this order block, I would love to see at least $85,600. Then you can see if we get a rejection, this could offer a short position. If you break above it, expect to move towards $91,000, which will be a massive level. To the downside, if you lose $82,900, I would expect a move back towards this low around $79,000, in which case I don't think that I'll be interested in long positions anymore, but as usual, we'll have to see then. So as usual, if you guys enjoyed this update, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.